Chapter 36. Women and the Fall of Man. I would rather die a meaningful death than to live a meaningless life. Are women our weakness as men? Man alone is nothing. A group of men is nothing. They need women to have a future, to procreate, to have families, and to have children. The sexual value of women is high because a woman produces one egg a month, while a man can produce 100 to 300 million sperm in each ejaculation. Men must compete for women, the scarcer and more discerning gender of the species. But there is a point where men become weak around women. When a man has multiple women, he has all the power. The women must compete for the one alpha male, share him, and maybe even have group sex or threesomes with him. This is the masculine gangster fantasy that men try to access through violent movies, internet porn, and video games. Man has the power and the women are subjugated. But what happens when the woman has the power? In a monogamous relationship, the woman has complete control of the sexual access. The man has hundreds of millions of sperm each day that he has every violent urge to unload into her womb, and he, socially, by the law, by the customs of our modern world, must have permission and access to her body to get his release. My dear friend, I know of no medicine fit to diminish the violent natural inclinations you mention, and if I did, I think I should not communicate it to you. Marriage is the proper remedy. It is the most natural state of man, and therefore the state in which you're most likely to find solid happiness. The woman must consent. He cannot rape her, or he is a criminal and goes to jail. So in a monogamous relationship, where the woman has all the control over sexual supply, the woman has the power, and this is where the exchange of power begins. They say that when a woman loves a man, he becomes her strength. When a man loves a woman, she becomes his weakness. This is the exchange of sexual power. She becomes strong, and he becomes weak. She becomes more masculine in the sexual exchange, and he more feminine. Without women, there's nothing. No men, no future, no tribe. Men need women. Men desire women. Men want sex. And a man is incomplete without a woman. Men will do stupid and self-destructive things just to have a chance with a woman. I have stood in front of a gun prepared to die before for a woman I loved. I have flown across the country on a whim and urged for a woman several times on no notice and just put the plane ticket on a credit card without a promise of anything but to see a woman I loved. I have spent sums of money equal to the annual salaries of my employees on a woman I loved in a single year, just to impress her and keep her happy. I have pursued a woman I loved in spite of multiple death threats left in my voicemail from her father. We still snuck out to be together anyways. Love is maddening, and love is madness. Love makes men and women insane. Men will do insane things for love. If there were no women, there would be no use for money, sex, violence, conquest, land, or anything at all. Men would just stay at home playing video games all day, fixing small problems that don't really exist. Men are useless without women to win, and women to protect. Paradoxically, are women the destructive force in our society? Do they make man stupid and weak to a point of his own demise? Think of cuck culture, where man loves a woman so much he'll let her have sex with another man. I'm ashamed to say I have experienced giving away a woman I loved into the sexual free market to have her sleep with other men of her choice. It broke my heart, but she was my weakness, and I loved her to the point of compromising my own life and identity for her. This was the wrong move, but it's an emotional place that men get to where they lose all perspective on what being a man really is and what is allowed and not allowed in love. Do women bring men to a point of feminine weakness, tolerance, and compassion when we need masculine strength, intolerance, and stoicism? Let's explore three famous stories from history that all illustrate a similar point. The woman opens up her world to the poisonous and viscous snake whom she compassionately looks after with milk and honey. The viscous creature turns on her, poisoning and killing her as she is blinded by feminine virtues like compassion, nurturing, and tolerance. What Trump recited are lyrics from Al Wilson's 1963 song, The Snake. The lyrics were inspired by The Farmer and the Viper from Aesop's fables. Women, relative to men, are a double-edged sword. On the one hand, they provide men hope with childbirth and a future and an ability to expand the tribe. Women are a source of power for men, inspiration, energy, sex, and healing. They are a prize to win in battle and conquest, and a prize to defend from other men and other tribes. But women are also the weakness of men, for they can single-handedly destroy a man, as is outlined in the three ancient stories above that contain ancient wisdom. Women are creators and women are destroyers. Women represent the beginning of man's expansion from a gang into an empire. Is the reversal true as well? Do women also represent the fall of man from an empire into death or bondage? In violent patriarchal societies, females move from one group of strong men to another, as with the chimpanzee culture. In violent male-driven patriarchal gangs, women move from group of dominant men to dominant men. If the men become weak, stronger men come in and kill the weak men. A variation is also true. If the men are proven to become weak, the women will join the tribes of the stronger enemies and abandon or have the former weak men who were formerly their mates marginalized or killed off. Cuck culture is an example of this. The woman is more powerful than her weak man, and thus subjugates the weaker man into a slave role to a much more dominant man who is better for the woman's survival in the long run. The cuck man plays a feminine role. The woman plays herself as the great creator and destroyer, and the new, stronger alpha male plays the masculine role. If men become weak, their women will throw them to the wolves. I saw this happen with my own mother and father firsthand. It was a painful experience to watch. Is this a function of women who create life and become the ultimate destroyer of life? If a man is too weak for his woman, she will betray him by leaving him for another gang, another stronger man, cheating on him and opening up her reproductive organs to a stronger man who can give her a stronger chance of survival for herself and her offspring. In other words, she will join a stronger gang, and her payment to enter the gang will be sex. Do women betray their men when the men can no longer prove to be the tribal leaders or provide the protection they biologically and subconsciously think they need? Is this betrayal of women destroying weak men a twisted survival mechanism of women? If this is performed on a large scale, is it the ultimate mega-cuck, the ultimate hypergamy? Betray the man who has become too weak, have him killed, then go find a strong man? Reproduce and the strongest genes live on? The strategy seems brutal, but it seems to offer women better survival options that make sense on a biological level. No woman appreciates a weak man. Women are always looking for strength, whatever that concept means to them. They want a leader, and they want to be lead. In a world of weak men, women will do what it takes to find a strong man, even if it means marginalizing, further weakening, and even destroying her own weak men to find stronger men to mate with. Women encourage killers. They do it by falling in love with warriors and heroes. Men know it and respond with enthusiasm. What have human females gone for in nearly every society and time? Courage and bravery. In short, violence.